Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got an X30 Peak Mountain Camp that packs a serious punch. It's the perfect balance between maneuverability and modern mountain luxury. Whether you're chasing sunrises or just want to make the most of every square inch, this walkthrough will show you why the X30 is quickly becoming a customer favorite. All right guys, so let's walk around this one. This is an X30, so a 24-foot box, 30 foot from bumper to tongue. This one weighed in at just, what was it, 10,500 is what this one weighed out at. So really nice camp, sharp looking. It's got the wainscot down the side, so that diamond plate down the side. As you can see, we've got cameras. This one's got your side cameras as well as your backup cameras. Got the awning. It does have the heated tank enclosure. 7,200 pound axles with a 16-inch rim, 14 ply tires. You've got your 7-gallon, 30-pound propane tanks. This does have the electric jack, 4,000 pound bulldog jack. Got the 14,000 pound coupler. And then up here on the deck, you've got your flip up steps. They're just gonna fold up over. They're heavy. You're not gonna have to worry about strapping them down or anything. They're good to go. Also, while I'm up here on the front, I'll show you this little storage area. So a lot of when we build these camps, we want to utilize all the usable space. They're all custom built, but obviously we want to give you as much space, storage space, things that way as we can. And so this little area up here, you can flip that up over. This is hinged, and then it's got that latch. Be able to store tire chocks, stabilizer jack handles, equalizer handles, whatever. You can put whatever up there that you're not worried about being in the elements. To where you can utilize everything that way. As I mentioned, where all of these are custom built, you can set them up however you want. Bed configurations, that's mainly what, if you call, chances are you're going to talk to Dave. One of the first things that Dave's going to ask you is what you envision as far as your bed setup. Whether you want a north and south walk around bed, whether you want split beds, whether you want a traditional layout with trundle bed, bunk bed, whatever that way, that's going to help us determine a length. Now, a lot of that being said, we can do a lot of different lengths, but when you start doing like north and south beds and then adding recliners, dinettes, things like that, those things are going to eat up a lot of space. And so we just want to make sure that we get the right setup for you. And a lot of that's going to come down to what you want. Like I say, we're not going to tell you how you're going to use your trailer. That's completely up to you. And so we just want to make sure, you know, as we build these, this is a lifetime product. This isn't disposable like the rest of the junk that's out there. This is something that's going to last you, and so we want to make sure that we get everything right for you. So anyways, let's carry on with the rest of this exterior. You've got your outside shower. This is kind of nice. It's got a quick connect setup to where as you flip it up, you've got your hot, your cold, put your hose in. I don't know that I probably am ever going to shower in this, but I tell you, I've cleaned a lot of things with it. Boots, dogs, kids, whatever. Makes it nice to be able to have that accessible. You've got your 6-gallon water heater. This one's a gas only. You can get them AC and gas, so dual. And then, as I mentioned, 8-lug, 16-inch wheels, all your DOT markers. This is a fresh air intake for your wood burning stove. So all of the combustible air for that fire comes from the outside. You're not replenishing any of your oxygen from inside, anything like that. You've got your wood box. This feeds through to the inside, so this door actually opens up and the wood stove is right above that. And so you're able to put all of your kindling, any logs, ash bucket, whatever in here, to avoid packing all that dirty stuff through your trailer. And so I really, especially when I clean my wood stove, being able to take and put all my ash in my bucket and put it in here, and then the next time I'm outside, being able to grab that and just go take care of it versus packing it through the camp. And I'll tell you, it'll take once. You might do it twice if you're forgetful like me, but when you take that ash pan and you open that front door, because these trailers are sealed so tight and there's no oxygen or nowhere for it to get air, as soon as you open that front door, that ash is going to be all over you. You're going to be wearing it. Your wife's going to be mad at you because you got the trailer dirty. It's just, I'm painting a really bad scenario so that you don't do it. I'm saving you men a lot of heartache. So anyways, as we move to the back, you can see this one's got 2 doors back here, and a lot of that's because of the configuration inside. So as we open these up, this one is going to be set up. They actually have a pull-out fridge that they're going to be bringing with them. That this one's set up, so that's what that outlet is. They'll have a fridge in here that they can load groceries, actually take it into the grocery store with them, fill it up, do what they need to do, bring it out, put it back in the trailer. So, and then on this one, we have a black stone. So these have become really popular. This has just got the quick connect set up to where you can remove it if you need it to on the drawer slide. So it just slides right out and we can cook right on it. So really nice. I don't know, we do a lot of the camp chefs too. I might be a little more partial to the black stone. It seems, yeah, I can do everything that I want to do on there. So that's what's in that one. So I'll talk about that a little bit on the interior when we go through some of that kind of use of space, things, utilizing different areas. But you've got your spare tire carrier. This has got just your jack, stabilizer jack handle, same size. So all you got to do is put one of your handles on there, crank that thing down, and you're good to go. You got stabilizer jacks on all 4 corners. And as we move here to the back, you've got your 100-watt solar panels. So you've got 2 100-watt solar panels. These are standard on all of them. These guys actually had us add extra panels to theirs. So they've got an extra panel on the driver's side. And then as you can see here, there's connectors here to where they can add panels if needed. So they'll have plenty of solar capacity with this one. It is set up for Starlink. All of our camps from now on are all going to be set up this way. So anyone with a 3rd generation or newer Starlink, that's compatible. You also have your coax for an antenna or satellite if you do that. You've got your water fills and your city connections on this one, where this tank, so your freshwater tank sits here in the back. You can see the setup here. That's a 42-gallon freshwater tank. And it does, as you can see, there's not a lot of storage space here, and a lot of that's due to the configuration there. So that's where that is. You do have your 2-inch receiver, 7-way plug. This is wired for brakes, to where if your trailer that you're pulling side-by-side boat, whatever, has electric brakes, that will work with that. All DOT compliant, so all of your marker lights on all your corners. This does have a backup camera, as I mentioned at the start. So you've got turn signal cameras. You've also got a backup light and camera there. And then, as I mentioned, another solar panel on the side here. We do get often, well, we get often at, how do we say that? I get asked frequently why we mount these on the sides, the back, instead of on the roof, which the roof would be the best place as far as a solar panel being. The downside to it is you've got to put holes in that metal to attach them. I hate holes in anything. Like I say, if we're going to build a product that lasts, we have to avoid any holes, especially on the roof. And granted, we're in better shape than what most RVs are, just because we have a rounded roof. So the majority of that water is going to slough off, snow is going to slough off, all of those things. But still, I don't want any issues with water there. And so, you know what? I can put one of these panels on, and I can get even shaded. I'm going to get 20 to 22 volts out of one of these panels. In direct sunlight, I'm going to get 24 to 28 volts out of them. So not a huge difference that way. Now, granted, yeah, if you can, like right now, we're facing the sun with these back panels. I'm going to be producing really good solar, really good amounts of power. But this one being shaded, I'm still going to produce good amounts. So depending on what you're trying to accomplish and stuff, I think for most people, you're going to be able to do everything you want with them mounted on the back, with them mounted on the sides, that way. So anyways, if you have questions about that, feel free to reach out to us and we can kind of talk to you. But in this one, we've got our 6volt batteries. These are 224 amp hour batteries. So you have plenty of capacity in here to do what you want to do. This one, where it does have the 3000 watt pure sine inverter, and the heated tanks and stuff, we always go to 6volt batteries. We're in the business of being overkill, over-engineered, whatever you want to call it. And it's just because I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And that's how we do things around here. Everything's over the top. So this one's just storage. You can see you got your 3000 watt inverter in there, and then yeah, just open storage. And we've got our 30,000 BTU furnace. And then this is a 30 amp service. This is a 25-foot cord, pulls out. This one's just got an adapter on it right now. Plug it into a 15 amp outlet, which will run everything I want to run in here, including the AC with the soft starts that we put on them. So, but they are set up to where if you go to a campground, you've got property, whatever, and you can hook into power and water, they are set up to do that. But they're also set up to be completely off grid. So whatever it is you want to do, that's what we're going to try and accomplish with your build. So anyways, that's a look at the exterior of this one. I'm trying to be a little more brief on the exterior just because I'm getting some hate in the comments. Everybody wants to see the interiors, which I can't blame you one bit for that. So anyways, let's get to the interior on this one. All right, guys, let's climb up in this one and show you what's going on. As I mentioned, this is an X30 camp. So 24-foot box, 24-foot living space. And this is how they've chose to lay it out. So let's go over some colors real quick. We've got some fawn cypress on the walls. Cabinetry is Brazil wood. The flooring is a vintage pine. And the countertop is a Benjamin Gray. And then as far as cushions, we have a briar brown on our dinette cushions, and chocolate brown is what our recliners are. So now that we've got the colors out of the way, let's do like we always do. Let's start up in the front. We'll just give you a little walkthrough and show you what's going on with this one. So we've got big hanging storage closet up here in the front. Got our fire extinguisher. We leave those to where the customer can place them wherever they want. And then down below, this one's got a single drawer. These are dovetail drawers. I failed to mention all of this is a knotty alder. is what this material is, and then it's stained to match whatever colors you pick. So Brazil wood, very popular color. We do, oh, it seems like, I don't know, 7 out of every 10 camps we build are Brazil wood. It's become very popular. And then these have the catching drawer slides on them. So as I slide this in, it'll pull in, latch. I don't have to worry about it coming out when we're traveling. Keeps it nice and tight. And then these do have the soft close hinges on them as well. So really nice setup. And then here at the bottom, this is also a drawer, but it's actually a boot drawer. So they can keep all their boots and stuff in there. Be able to close it, they're out of the way. And then on all of our big stuff, we'll put these latches on them as well. Oh, helps if you turn it the right way, so that you can lock them, don't have to worry about them coming out. Stainless steel fridge freezer combo, 2-way fridge, so AC as well as propane. Nice to give you some options that way. If I set it on auto, what it's gonna do is, you'll watch, it's gonna try for electric first. Didn't find it, so it automatically switches to propane. I don't have the propane on in this one, at least I don't think that I do. So it's probably gonna tell me that it's not gonna light, but so far so good. So we're gonna turn that off, work our way up to the built-in microwave. This does have the air fry feature in it as well, so favorite feature. I use that, and you'll notice this one doesn't have an oven in it. That would fit me because I'm not gonna bake anything, but I will throw something in the microwave or the air fryer. So I like this setup. We can do these, as you'll see in other videos, where we do the furnace underneath the fridge to elevate that fridge. I like that just because you don't have to bend down to get to anything in the bottom half. It's elevated up to where it's easy to get to. So I do like that. The downside to it is I can't do this built-in microwave. And so a lot of times what I'll do, this will be raised up. We can do a smaller microwave inside with some doors or some different things that way. So that's completely up to you how you want to do it. Does have the stereo. This has the CD player. It's Bluetooth capable, satellite capable, all of that good stuff. And then we have pull-out pantries. These are a 3-drawer or a 3-shelf pantry, and there's 2 of them. And they also have those latching drawer slides, but then they also have that thumb latch as well. So being able to keep all of your goods in there, canned goods, chips, whatever, all the stuff that the kids want to eat, keep that in there. Grandkids, kids, whoever, your husband, I would keep stuff in there for your husband. And then as we move around, our monitoring panel, this will run us through all of our tank levels, battery levels, whatever we want to see. This will do it for us. We can set alarms on this, telling us, hey, we're close to out of water, we're getting close to full, all sorts of different things. Just allows us to know what we're at so that we can kind of plan accordingly. As we move down, this is something new that we've been doing in all the camps, which really makes it nice, because a lot of times when we were doing these before, people would get confused on what switches did what or everything. So having them labeled is going to help that out a lot. So as you can see, this one has the heated tanks, as we mentioned on the exterior. So I can turn these on, and there's an electric heating element that's on the bottom of those tanks, and it just monitors the temperature. If that temperature drops below 45 degrees, they will kick on automatically, and they'll bring the temperature back up to 60, 65 degrees. Kind of nice that way. They are on their own thermostat to where they control themselves. I like this feature if you are plugged in to shore power, or even if you have a generator or anything. I use these mainly as a backup, just because I have no way of knowing how much they use as far as power, just because they've got their own thermostat, and there's so many variables like temperature, how much water's in the tank, all sorts of stuff. So I can't really tell how much these are drawing. So if you are using these in a boondocking situation, I would recommend setting an alarm on your monitor here to where it's going to notify you when those batteries are getting low, kind of into that danger area. That way you can turn those off, whether you use your circulation fan with your wood stove or you turn on your furnace, however you want to do it. All of those things are going to warm up those tanks to where you won't need these. Like I say, these are kind of a backup for me. Most of the time, I'm either running my wood stove or I'm using my furnace in those colder months. And so I don't generally need to use these. Like I say, depending on where you're at, your circumstances, these might be needed for you. But that's something that we would probably want to talk with you about during the spec out period when you're going through and trying to decide what you want in your camp. We'd probably want to talk to you. Maybe you don't need those, but those are an option. So this third one is for the drain pipes. I would mainly turn, that one's not on a thermostat. When it's on, it's on. So when you turn that on, it's warming those pipes up. So the biggest thing with that one is if you leave it on, it will get warm enough that it will melt those pipes. I had one person that they had left it on all winter. It didn't melt through the pipes or anything, but it made that ABS soft enough that it had a little bow in it. So that one's not on a thermostat. It's just when it's on, it's on. So I generally will turn that one on an hour, 2 hours before I dump. That way I make sure everything's thawed out right there and you're good to go. As I mentioned, circulation fan. What this is going to do is when you're using that wood burning stove, you can turn that on and it's going to circulate that warm air from the wood burning stove into that tank enclosure throughout the camp. So both heating your bathroom area all around. So this is nice. It's not something that I would probably use while I'm sitting in here relaxing, just because as you can hear it in the video, it's not quiet. But in the morning, say I get up and I'm gonna go do something or whatever, I'm gonna fire up the wood stove, get that thing cranking, and I'm gonna turn that on and just let that circulate that warm air. Once it's warm in here, it's going to stay warm in here. These are insulated very well. R19 batting in the floor and the ceiling. Your walls, all the dead space is insulated. So these are nothing like any of the RVs out there. These are more comparable to your home. It's something that we take pride in just because we're not interested in the cheap stuff that's out there. We work on it day in, day out in our repair side of our business. We know what works, what doesn't work. 99% of the stuff that's out there doesn't work. But we're happy to say, you know, that we use quality products and we build these things to where they will last. People work hard for their money. We want you to have something that is not so disposable. This has the inverter in it. This is a Go Power. It's a pure sine wave. This is the 3000 watts. So it'll run everything in here. If I want to fire this thing up, all I got to do is turn it on and you'll hear the transfer switch, but you can just watch. Once I turn that on and that transfer switch kicks in, which this always takes longer than what I think it does when I'm talking about it. But as soon as that transfer switch kicks on, I'll have power to everything that I want to use. So any second now. There you go. I'm ready to fire up the burrito. So that is nice to be able to use that. It'll give you what your battery voltage is at. It'll also give you an output as far as what it's doing. So right now we don't have anything on, so it's not trying to run anything. But I mean, you could run the fridge, microwave. You can even run the air conditioner with that. I could turn the air conditioner on right now. And that's just running strictly off the batteries. Now that's not something that I recommend. I mean, you can't, if you were in a pinch, you could, but at the cost of your batteries. As you can see, that jumps our output way high. So it's just something to be aware of. Like I say, if you're doing anything like that, you just want to know what you're doing so that you can set alarms so that you don't damage those batteries. Now granted, we have solar and we've got a big bank of batteries, but there are a lot of things in here that we just want to watch and make sure that we're doing what we need to. So the air conditioner isn't necessarily something that I would run off of my batteries, even though we can. But it is nice to be able to do what I want to do. If I don't have a lot of hair, but if I wanted to blow dry my hair or run a coffee maker, whatever, to be able to do that is nice. So all of your AC outlets are all tied to that inverter to where you can use anything. A lot of your RVs, what they do when they put one of these inverters in is they tie it to a couple specific outlets. That's a pain in the butt. I don't want to be tied to specific outlets. I want to be able to use whatever I want. So then we've got our 3-person dinette. I like this setup. I've never really been a fan of the dinette, and a lot of it is just because it eats up so much floor plan space. Whereas this three-person dinette, where it's got this angle, you can see this walkway is actually really nice. There's not a bottleneck like it would be if you were to do a 4-person dinette. So that 4-person dinette, yeah, it's gonna come out here into this and it's gonna make this walkway really narrow. That's always kind of been a pet peeve of mine. So depending on what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish, this will fold down and it makes into a bed. And so if you do a 4-person, you know, yeah, you could sleep 2. You could sleep 2 fairly comfortably. But even right now, I could sleep someone on there and not have any issues. So if that's a big determining factor for you, yeah. But like I say, I like the 3-person just because I don't like a bottleneck here. Then we have our recliners. These, as I mentioned, are chocolate brown. They will fold down to where, not fold down, lay down, I guess, to where they're dang near flat, to where I guess if I needed, I could sleep on that pretty comfortably, I'm sure. But if I needed to sleep someone, especially where this one doesn't have a center console, I could do that pretty easily. So really comfortable recliners. And it is nice to have some comfort when the weather's bad, when you come in at night, whatever. So, and then this is kind of unique in the back here. These are becoming more and more popular. This is a split bed setup. So this is becoming really popular with guys that travel with buddies or whatever, but then, you know, when they go with their wife, they want to slide the beds together. There's all sorts of different things that we can do with this configuration. Those of you that have watched the channel for a while, you've seen this layout. It's nothing new. But it's very usable to be able to have split beds and stuff, have some storage. These all have drawers underneath them. So lots of storage space. You've got a drawer in the nightstand back behind with your AC outlets, DC outlets, USB ports, all of that stuff. And then this one, they did the bunk up above too, where they can sleep someone up there. It does have the entertainment package. So as I mentioned, up to towards the front, you've got your stereo. This also, all of our camps are going to be coming equipped with Starlink compatible. So everything's ready for this one to hook up to Starlink. All you got to do is plug it in and you're good to go. So you'll have internet. This does have a 12-volt smart TV. So this is a 28-inch TV, and it's, like I say, it's a smart TV. So if you have internet or hotspot from your phone or anything, you can use this just like you would at home, other than this is running off batteries. So no need for a generator, no need for an inverter, even though this one has one. You can run it strictly off at 12 volts. So little entertainment stand here. The row of drawers below it, some counter space. Then you've got your wood stove. I don't have this one burning. Yo, we're 93 plus degrees today, and I wasn't feeling like sweating today. As bad as I love having this thing burning, especially when I'm showing you guys. but I couldn't do it today. So I apologize for that. If you want to see one burning, I think 90% of the videos that I do, I've got them burning in it, but I wasn't feeling it today. So anyways, this thing's a game changer. As I mentioned, using that circulation fan, the insulation values, this thing, yeah, it'll run you out of here if you let it. But it's so comfortable to be able to sit here on the recliners, watching the TV, I find that I watch the fire probably more than I do the TV. It's just, yeah, there's something about it. It's comfortable. Makes you feel right at home, away from home. So I failed to mention the thermostat for the furnace. So 30,000 BTU furnace. So yeah, being able to set that temperature. And a lot of times in the winter, what I'll end up doing is I'll actually set my thermostat in the middle, even though I'm using the wood stove the majority of the time. If I find that I get out and about and I don't get back in time and it gets cold or whatever, I want that furnace to kick on and keep it, you know, 50, 55 degrees or whatever until I get back and can build a fire. That's kind of how I use it in the colder months, but how you use yours is completely up to you. So we move forward. We've got the 3-burner cooktop, no oven on this one, but lots of storage below. They wanted lots of drawers in this one, and that's exactly what we did. So lots of dovetail drawers, overhead storage, tons of space in these. These are all on gas struts too, to where it holds that door open, but then it also holds it closed to where when you're traveling, you don't have to worry about stuff falling out. We got our stainless steel sink. Faucets are all household. Like I say, we want to use everything that we can to make your life better, to make our life better, and that is using products that are just going to hold up. And so we try and avoid any RV stuff where we can. We got our tip out drawers. Underneath we have our water heater. Now, a lot of placement, I don't really care for it being right under the sink. I feel like that eats up some space, but depending on the layout, as you saw on the outside of this one, they've kind of utilized all of that outside space. And so they were willing to compromise and sacrifice some of that space for things they wanted out there in exchange for space that they needed in here. And so, but as you can see in here, all brass fittings, no plastic fittings. All of our valves are all metal or brass. Braided lines. We don't use any of that cheap stuff. It's not worth it to us. For the couple dollars you're gonna save in the long run, it's not worth it. We want these things to last, and like I say, people work hard for their money. We want to give them something of value, not something that's disposable. So in the bathroom, 1.5 inch solid wood door. Then we've got our, just slowly close that. Got our vanity, little sink, counter space, mirrored medicine cabinet, exhaust fan, frosted bathroom window, porcelain toilet. And this one has the stainless steel glass door, and this is a 32 inch by 32 inch shower. And up here at the front is where all of our light switches are. This is also something new, to be able to know what's going on here. Your exterior light, your porch light's on a dimmer. So that one, and then I can set it whatever I want, brightness wise. Our main cabin lights are also on a dimmer, to where I can dim those right down. And then they are on individual switches also, to where you can turn those off however, whichever ones you want on, you can have on. And you've got your bathroom lights. This is just an access panel. That's another thing, from working on RVs all the time, God, they just don't give you access to anything. And so I want access to any fittings, any water lines, anything like that. I don't want to have to tear cabinets out. I'm over all that stuff. I want simplicity. And so That's what we do. We make these to where they're functional. You have all the comforts, however you want them. That's what we try to accomplish, but we try to accomplish it in a way that you can use, you can, yeah, if you have issues, they can be fixed. It's, yeah, we want it to be the best product ever. Just like you guys, you're the best viewers, subscribers, you're just good people, and we love hearing from you. Be sure to drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this layout, what you would change, all of those things. We try and get back to all of you because we do. We appreciate you. You help us get our product out in front of people. So we appreciate all the shares, all the kind words, everything. So thanks again, and we'll catch you on the next one.